Okay, I know the announcement was pretty early and there's not a whole lot of information, but I just want to share my thoughts and reactions to the news of James Gunn's Man of Tomorrow announcement. First of all, I think the announcement as a whole takes Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow's thunder. With this announcement, all the focus is now on 2027, not on 2026 Supergirl. I feel like maybe that Gunn should have waited to make this announcement. I know a while back he said he had finished the script for the Superman sequel, but I thought he was talking about a completely different movie and with a different plot. I mean, maybe he was talking about this movie. I don't know. I know he said that this isn't a sequel to Superman. In his own words, to a certain extent, it's a team-up movie. And more on that in a minute. Gunn also said that Peacemaker is a prequel to Man of Tomorrow. It sounds like the entire season of Peacemaker and not the last few episodes of the show are a prequel to the movie. Maybe it's just me, but not to sound lazy, but that feels like homework. I mean, I know with Google now and that whole internet, you can figure things out you need to without watching the show, but it does feel like a little bit like homework. I haven't watched Peacemaker, and but I have seen things about it, and I'm not really planning on watching the show, especially since there was an orgy at some point in the new season. I feel like maybe with Peacemaker, Paradise Lost, Lanterns, and all the other shows Gunn has planned, I'm a little worried that DC is going down the MCU path of having too many shows that's almost like homework and not everybody's going to watch. I mean, no offense, I'm not really planning on watching a bunch of shows. I'm not really a TV person in general. When I do watch a show, it's usually a rerun of an old show here and there. But, I barely stick with a new show. There's barely been a time where I've actually stuck for all seasons of a new show. I did see where Lois and a few others are returning from Man of Tomorrow, which I'm happy about, and I hope several other cast members of the Daily Planet and the Justice Gang return. I've heard that maybe this movie is setting up Luthor to run for president, and I know it's in the comics, but I've never really pictured Luthor wanting to run for president. I've always seen the character as more of a street-level villain, not the most powerful man in the nation. And I'm not sure about Luthor being an ally, even if it is temporary. I just don't see Clark trusting him after what happened with the Pocket Universe. And with the Justice Gang and possibly Batman coming to the DCU, I just don't see Clark choosing to join Luthor. It seems like a bad decision on so many levels. I mean, unless, he either escapes with the help of Angela or Amanda Waller, who from what I've seen and heard, is pretty nuts. She forces Clark to work with Luthor, and that's how it starts. If Clark and Luthor do team up for whatever reason, I hope a few things happen in the movie. The teaming up with Luthor is not an easy decision for Clark, since what happened in the Pocket Universe, especially with Luthor killing Mally, and that has given Clark, understandably, PTSD. Clark talks to several characters like Rex or Lois and other characters, and depending on their answers, he decides it's the best decision to join with Luthor. But I'm a little worried that Luthor will figure out Clark's identity, and that's something I hope doesn't happen, but how can it not? Something that would be interesting if in the first half of the movie, the two defeat whatever villain they're up against, whether it be Brainiac or Lobo, and the second half, or the last few minutes of the movie, Luthor stops being nice and turns on Clark, exposing him to Kryptonite from his suit, and that weakens Clark and it cuts the credits. I really hope the movie doesn't involve the multiverse. I know it's in the comics. I know that Peacemaker has the multiverse. But I have never liked the multiverse for several reasons. I mean, for one, if there are 100 other versions of a particular character, like Superman or Luthor or Batman, then what is the point of caring about the character if they die and there are countless other versions of them to take their place, and they're only slightly different. And I hope, I know it's in the comics and several other shows and other projects, but can we not introduce multiple colors of Kryptonite? Can we just stick with green, please? We don't need to see blue Kryptonite, the Kryptonite that makes him a giant. We just need to stick with green. Overall, where is all this headed? What is the end game? Who is the big bad that all this is leading to? Are we actually leading up to something, or are we just making a bunch of Superman movies and other movies that and shows that are connected to each other? And some of the projects don't seem to be moving, like Waller and a couple of others. Now, I don't know if I'll be seeing all these projects, especially Supergirl and Man of Tomorrow. I just wanted to share my thoughts. What are your thoughts on Man of Tomorrow and the DCU as a whole? Is James Gunn going the right direction, or should he slow down? Comment down below, like this video, share, and subscribe.